a session on introducing the topic, as you remember, about how every one of us has an amazing opportunity in this life, and so that we can live life on our own terms, and how life itself is affording us miraculous greatness that we all have. So today we're having a roundtable discussion, and as we're having a roundtable discussion, we're going to introduce each other first and then speak about it. So you will come to know more about what we're doing and how we're hoping to connect with all of you out there so that you become part of the inner core that actually works towards building a community around the world that has education as its basis, an academy, so that it's not only the theory, it's not only the academics, but also the application of that knowledge so that we can all live amazing lives, amazingly miraculous lives. Like I said yesterday, live a life that is an unfolding miracle like that. And yes, there will be bursts of material energy that may interfere with the miracle that's unfolding, but you can't stop that unfolding. The unfolding is unstoppable, we're unstoppable. And that way we achieve the highest purpose of our lives and how that happens and so forth. So I'm going to start on the from my right, or what might be to your left, with Jagannath Cassidy, and then we'll come around and then we'll get started with the discussion. So go ahead.
My name is Ian Cassidy. I go by Jagannath. So I'm a storyteller, I'm a writer, I do a whole bunch of stuff, but with Atumva, I'm hoping to be able to teach people how to use ancient stories and things like that, and legends, and from around the world, and incorporate them so that we can get a grasp on our own internal story and kind of look at what these stories are telling, because it's kind of like the knowledge of older generations, and they're like, what are we going to give people that's important, that's vital for our future generations? So they created stories, and we still tell these stories after years and centuries. It continues the framework. So there's lessons in those stories that can help us to learn how to deal with our own internal story and become the best version of ourselves that we can and follow our greatest potential. So I'm kind of using that as a framework to help with that.
Right. And without humility or whatever, some things he left out about himself that I know of, because we've known each other for now about 10 years.
Yeah.
And work very closely. I personally am of the opinion, because I do work in that arena a lot, I'm personally of the opinion that he is probably the best astrologer we have on the planet. Very, very good astrologer, amazing astrologer. And in one particular area, we did a lot of work, which is locational astrology, figuring out wherever you are, what energy is affecting you as a result, and how you can take advantage of that opportunity and do some truly amazing things in your life. He's able to think those things through, how time affects us, at what time what is happening. Just this morning he was telling me about some of the things that are happening in my life, and how I should deal with them. And this is going to be without asking the question, because he knows my astrological chart and is able to, from that, figure out things. And I also work in that area a little bit. We call it nature readings, where we study the nature of a person so we can understand why that person's on the planet, why you're on the planet, like that. So really, a really nice person to touch. All of us here are coaches. every one of us here is a coach, and we can coach in some particular field of expertise, but we're learning to coach 360 degrees in a way that we can help in many different things, and at the same time point each other to the right person when it comes to any specific area that we're dealing with in our life. But thank you very much, Ian. And then I'll move over to our next coach. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Nathan Wanty, Coach Nanda, from those that are close to me. And I really base my coaching off of a few things. One is leadership, but leadership in the sense that it's very authentic and charismatic leadership. Often, when we think of a leader, we think of somebody who's charismatic, they can attract, right? And the leadership that I really enjoy teaching is that you can be charismatic by being authentic, because you will attract those people that are meant for you. You don't have to go outside of your authentic self to attract the right people.
Right.
So many times leaders want to impress other people, and so their charismatic nature is to attracting them the wrong people, and it causes them, anyways, it doesn't fulfill them. There we go. So if you have an authentic, charismatic leadership, then you really attract the people that you're meant to help and lead the people and lead in your authentic way. Second is empathic and intuitive communication or connections. This is really important to me because when we understand that everybody has within them an amazing greatness, even if they're in a spot we can't understand, we can't get there, we don't quite get it, but knowing that they are intrinsically great because they're a child of God, then we can be willing to put ourselves in their shoes and see from where they're coming from. Again, we might not get it, or we might not think like they are thinking, but that understanding that they're a child of God, we can go, okay, let me try to see from their perspective. And it can allow us a great empathy to help them and encourage them. And then intuitive, we have an understanding that there's the Lord within the heart called Paramatma. And so when we tap into that, He's giving us direction. He even gives the birds direction. He gives the animals directions. So if we can tap into intuition through Paramatma, then the Lord can help us help others in such an amazing way. And then, last but not least, divine teaching. You know, you can already probably hear in the words that I've used that there's a spirituality and a transcendental aspect of my coaching, and divine teaching and wisdom. Not just understanding, but living through it and experiencing it, so that you can experience it and give it to others. And this is the core of my helping, or my service, I guess you could say.
Right. Again, in the case of Coach Nanda, we've had a long association with Nanda, again, 10 years. And I know of many people who have contacted him, worked with him, all of whom will say that he's very sincere, he's very expert, and so an absolutely good idea to get in touch with Coach Nanda. And sometimes we use words here that may not be understood by you, like use the word Paramatma. Paramatma means the soul, the Lord Himself, residing in our heart with us, the super spirit, the super soul that is in our heart with us, and the manifestation of the Lord with us that is of such extreme value that most of us have no idea about. And so in our programs, we bring these issues up so that you understand how you have already won the lottery of lotteries of lotteries, being here as a human being, and that to a human being who's coming to hear about these topics that we'll talk about in Atamba. Yesterday we spoke a little about Atamba. I'll say a little more about that today so that you understand what Atamba means. But I'll move over to the next person and ask her to introduce herself to all of us.
Thank you. My name is Tammy Monty. I am retired from sales, customer service, and marketing, and raising 3 sons. I have 2 passions that I would like to help other people learn and help them to grow, and I would like to increase my understanding of them so that I can grow in order to help other people and myself. My first passion is being in the present moment. Uh, my favorite saying is, the past is history, the future is a mystery, but the present is a gift. That's why it's called the present. There's only one time when you can connect with the Lord or divinity, and that's in the present moment. The rest of time does not really exist. It's only in your mind. You can't talk to God yesterday or last week or tomorrow or a month down the road. You can only talk to him in this very, very second. And my other passion is hearing God speak, which of course can only happen in the moment. And I truly believe that divinity, in whatever form you worship divinity, be it God, Krishna, Jehovah, Allah, Jah, in any of those forms, it's all one. It's one God. He speaks to us in whatever form he wants to. He's created everything. There's nothing that he can't use to speak to us. And so I in my life, he's made some amazing connections with me, times when I've actually been present and been able to hear him. So I would like to help other people to realize that God is always speaking to them, and all you have to do is stop and listen or see or, be in the present moment to have that connection happen. So that is what I would like to advance in and help others to advance in.
Well, actually, you're already doing it. So maybe so she's already doing it. All of our team members are very humble. They'll always speak of themselves in lesser terms than they really are. She's an amazing coach. And again, there are people that I know who have touched her and have felt amazing benefit as a result. And they'll testify to the fact that she knows a lot more than she lets on. And again, another person who I've known pretty much, 10 years, that has proven the authenticity. Every one of the team members here that you see have been working with us for some time now. We've been working together for some time now, the better part of about, say, 2 years, 3 years, in terms of Atomba itself, and have proven themselves. And this is our invite to you. Please come and join us. Join us and join a roundtable like this, join the group, and make advancements. We'll speak about what we do so that you'll know what we're doing and what the progressions are and how you can achieve truly miraculous greatness in your life, where you live life on your terms, your life on your terms. All right? So I'll move on to the next person sitting next to Coach Tammy.
Hello, my name is Ephraim Villa, and the purpose of me being here is because I have felt that I have been missing something in my life that I felt needed more guidance. I've been a hairstylist since 1999, and I always made people look beautiful on the outside, and I feel like I've always wanted more than that, and now I've gotten the opportunity to help people look beautiful on the inside.
Mm.
And I feel very fortunate to be in this group because I've been given the opportunity to learn what I've been wanting to learn from something you cannot get anywhere else besides here. You can't get this from any other course to a better life, better spiritual life, and become a better person.
Nice, thank you. Again, you can hear in the voice the humility coming through. A friend I've known for less of time, maybe 5 years now, and gone through amazing challenges in his life, types of challenges that none of us would prefer to face in our lives, and has risen from the ashes like that, like a phoenix that rises from the ashes like that, and gained strength. And he made a statement that I thought was a very strong statement, that there is no other course out there, there is no other place that you will learn what you learn with us here. And that may sound like a statement that's made out of some type of arrogance like that. It isn't. It's actually that what we talk about in Total Health Empowerment 10 in Atanga, and we will say a little about that in the roundtable discussion, you will see there is nobody else doing that. We will explain that to you, what that sentence means, and why it's actually a very correct statement. But thank you, Ifrin, for joining us. We're honored to have Ifrin in our group, as we are with every team member here. And so now I'll ask the next person, the last person before I speak, to introduce himself. Please.
So, my name is Oric Borleski. I am definitely the newbie here in terms of the spiritual aspect of Atanga, and I bring a lot of different experiences to the group. I'm hoping I've been pretty much entrepreneurial all my life, and technically I like to say I've been unemployed since fresh out of my 8th year of college in 1984, and always on one project or another, and mostly on the technical end of things. Worked with the financial services industry early on, and also heavy into education and administration, administrative of schools and districts from around the early 90s. Also been involved to one degree or another with early forms of AI, technically going back to the precursors of ChatGPT and Grok, all the way down to 1976 at the University of Wisconsin. And I recently made the connection that in my spiritual life, I've also been working with Krishna in different forms ever since my teenage years, but never, just like AI today, I never really understood AI, or AI never understood us like it does today. In my personal life, you can compare that to God, to Krishna, that although I've known him all my life, I haven't known him like this. And it's been really exciting in my life, and I thank God I am where I am today, here.
Yes, again, I have to say that Eric didn't quite introduce himself as much as he could have. He's got vast experience, vast knowledge in terms of understanding, technology, how to apply technology so that humanity can work with technology in a way that is very compatible, very valuable. What I've seen, I have not seen anywhere else outside of Oric. And he has designed amazing programs with very large financial companies and other organizations. And so I didn't quite walk into those aspects of his life. But certainly in our case, when it comes to systems, when it comes to interactions between people that need to be codified in technical language. We could not have found anybody else. Somehow the Lord made him unemployed very recently. We've really known each other now for about 10 months. You might say maybe 11 months, like that. And in those 11 months, what I have seen, I'm not easily amazed by anybody. Very few people amaze me on this planet. And in terms of the achievements, in terms of every person being a child of God, every person is amazing. Every person is way beyond amazing. That is why our topic is your miraculous greatness, living your life on your terms. In that sense, definitely everyone is amazing. I even find animals amazing, trees amazing. But in terms of achieving their potential, I'm not very convinced that there are many people out there who are achieving anywhere near the potential. Even those that this world speaks about in very high terms and says, so-and-so are the 5 richest people in the world, the 5 most beautiful people in the world, the 5 most knowledgeable people in the world, or whatever else you want to say. I'm not impressed, I'm sorry. And it's not out of arrogance, it's because of the knowledge that I have been able to come across in my life, where if you look at it on the basis of that knowledge and the potential of humanity, we are way beyond underachieving. And the answer is not running to other planets. The answers are right here in our own hearts, sitting with us, that we need to first explore and take advantage of and actually bring out in terms of greatness, not just of each person, but of every person, like that. So thank you all, by the way, really great. So my name is Coach Vino, and this is a instruction that was given to me by my spiritual master, and was given to me by his spiritual master. I come from a particular spiritual lineage that actually is non-sectarian, meaning that we understand there is only one God, and some know him as Christ, some know him as Krishna, some know him as Allah, some know him as Jehovah, some know him as Buddha, some have other wonderful names for the Supreme Lord. But it's the same person. It's just like in America, we're in Texas, we call the sun planet Sun. In India, they say Surya. In South America, they say Solar. And if we have a 3-way fight about who's right and who's wrong about what the name of the planet is, sun planet is, if I say Sun, the name Sun is the right name for the sun planet and refers to the sun planet, but your name Surya is bogus, there is no such sun planet that's called Surya. That's just our ignorance, pure ignorance. There is only one God. And if you look at spirituality from that point of view, you transcend the politics of this world, the conflicts of this world, the quarrel and hypocrisy of this world, the ignorance of this world, the darkness of this world, and come into light, into understanding knowledge properly, like that. Fortunately, for all of us, we were born wherever we were born for a particular purpose. I was born in Fiji, in the South Pacific, Fiji Islands, and I got my education in New Zealand, studying law and commerce. But really my calling was of reaching out to people and helping them with total health empowerment. And when we speak about total health empowerment, we're talking in the context of ATOMBA. ATOMBA is an acronym, by the way. The A stands for accelerating, and the T stands for total health empowerment. And there are 10 dimensions of life that we talk about in total health empowerment. The O stands for optimized, because we want to optimize to each person. Each person is very unique. Each and every one of us was manifested by the Lord. Some use the word created. Technically, manifested is correct because the soul always existed, exists now, and will always exist into the future. But yes, in some spiritual faiths, we talk about creation, God created. So we can say God created the soul like that. That soul has always existed. That's why the word creation is not quite correct. He manifested. It was unmanifest, and then he manifested. Imagine I had something in my fist, and I closed, and you don't know what it is, and open the fist, and you see it. There's a small coin sitting there. I manifested the coin. I didn't create the coin. The coin was there. It was unmanifest and became manifest. So optimize, and then the MV stands for massive value. This life is for earning values. And so if we give massive value to others, our lives will be amazing. It is the number one strategy of progressing to greater and greater and greater levels of success. And there's unlimited success out there, and there's eternal success, which means there's no end to it. It only gets better and better and better. That is why we're a culture of making progress, not a culture of success. Culture of success will ultimately lead to failure, because success was created, the success is going to fail. What success is eternal, always exists, and will always exist in the future, and because it is eternal, it will also always expand. It will also grow bigger and bigger and bigger, like that. So massive value is what the MV stands for, and the A stands for always. Accelerating total health empowerment, optimized, massive value, always. That's why we call ourselves Atomic. Now, in total health empowerment, what we talk about is there are 10 dimensions of our life that we need to take care of, all these 10 dimensions. Number one being our financial health. Number two, and these are not in any order, but they are in some type of an order that people seem to attract themselves to. The second is physical health. The third is mental health. This is a very big challenge in this world today. The fourth is intellectual health. Not many people talk about intellectual health, but intellectual health deals with the ability to know what is better, what is not so good, what is right, what is wrong, what is going to help us in the culture of making progress, and what's going to retard us, like that. And then, number five is emotional health. Emotions actually run this world. There are 33 major emotions that run this world. What are those 33 emotions? How can we master them in a way, how we can have mastery over them so that now we can actually live life on our terms and help others do the same, like that. Because the purpose of life, according to the oldest scriptures in this world, the Vedas, is to be happy and to give happiness to others. And also variously described as to be loved and to love others, to actually be served and to serve others, to be devoted to God and help others in their devotion, like that. So that is very important. Emotional health is very important. And then comes social health, which is number 6. Social health is the science of relationships, the art and science of relationships. And the art always takes 80% of the game. Science takes 20%. Art is where the major movement happens. Science is what actually facilitates it. But there's nothing to facilitate. The facilitation process is just languishing. There's nothing there to facilitate. So art is what science facilitates, like that, and makes it happen. So it brings it into reality, like that. So that's the 6th, social health. Then number 7 is environmental health. We mess up our environment, the answer is not going to another planet. The answer is fixing the planet. This planet is indestructible in many ways. Even if a nuclear war would happen, nuclear bombs would be thrown, yes, there'll be massive destruction. Most people would die, this, that, and the other. But it wouldn't take the planet more than 2 months to bounce back again. That's how powerful our planet is. And we can explain this scientifically, by the way, and show that there's a lot of strength here that we can add to, as humans, we have the ability to add strength or to actually waste resources. Wasting resources is harmful to the planet, but it's most harmful to us individually and as a group. And then comes the 8th, and that is locational health. This is a very powerful person. Locational health means, who are you internally? Authentically, who are you? Do you know yourself? Have you built your internals in a way that you are unstoppable, so that you have so much strength inside, so much resilience, so much compassion, so much tolerance, so much of all the great qualities that are out there that are available to us, being sustainable, this, that, and the other, that will actually make us very, very capable, have a great capacity, great confidence, great capacity, that we can say that we can even represent the highest being in the world as God. Are we representing at the highest level, internally? But that's what's going to play out externally. So if you think your life is whatever it is, you see your life as whatever it is, it's because that's what it is inside. The song you're playing here is going to be the song that's going to play outside sooner or later, and most times very soon. So if you see that the song outside is not very good, it's because you need to correct the song inside here. What is the story you're telling yourself here? Is the story that's going to play outside. What is the life you're living inside here? That is the life you're going to live outside. So then your connection to the world is the other part to it. It's building your internals, making your internals completely strong, and then having those internals drive your externals. That is the science of locational health. And the ninth is spiritual health, because we're all spirit soul. Without spirit soul, there is no life. Life comes from the soul. Soul is the source. It's like the battery of life. So how do we enhance the health of our soul? How do we make our soulful life very healthy? So it's spiritual health. Number 9. And number 10 is the biggest of them all, called transcendental health. Each and every one of us has a very individual, specific relationship with God. Now, we may not agree on what the name of God is. There may be differences amongst us due to our ignorance. If we just say God, only God knows you're talking to God. All the false gods can't hear. We've just created many false gods. We've, conjured many false gods. Those false gods don't exist. And yes, you can create movements, and you can create conspiracies, and you can create religious movements, and this, that, and the other. That doesn't make God. God always has existed, exists now, will always exist into the future. God is God, and only God is God. Like that. So if you say God, God knows you're talking to God. Because he's already sitting here as the super soul, as Paramatma, as Coach Nanda was saying. Like that. Now this is the biggest of them all, because this is the one that drives the other 9 above it. This is the real dynamo. So in our giving points to these 10 to figure out where a person is in their life, we give 80 out of 100 to transcendental health. So that's our biggest opportunity, and most people have no idea of that opportunity. They haven't even heard about it, or to speak, have an idea about it. And if they've heard about it, sometimes they've heard about it from people who don't understand what transcendental science is, who ascribe some other meaning to the word transcendence when it is not transcendence. Transcendence means that which cannot be understood by the mind, that which cannot be understood by the intelligence, that which cannot be understood by your false ego. It can only be understood by your heart. Because the Lord is sitting in the heart, therefore he can give the understanding, proper understanding. And then come in the form of a guru, a spiritual master, a spiritual guide outside who reflects that, says the same thing, and confirms what the Lord wants us to know, because we're all children of God. As children of God, he wants us to do great. Just like many of you are parents. Some of you are parents. And as a good parent, I have children. I would want my children to do better than I did in my life. So God's a parent. Why wouldn't he want us to do better than him? Now that's not possible because he's God. But that's his intention. He's making all arrangements that we can do amazing, amazing things. But we're so caught up in insignificance that the insignificance is making us smaller and smaller, making us weaker and weaker, more and more conflicting, more and more turning to the wrong tools, the wrong avenues for making progress. These are things in Roundtable that we talk about, and you can see this is not a comprehensive discussion that anybody else is having out there. In all of these 10 areas at the same time, integrating them. Life is not about balancing. Life is about integration. You've got to integrate these 10. You might balance for nuancing, but the main thing is integration. If you don't integrate, you can balance as much as you want, nothing will happen. In a car, if you look at an automobile, look, there's so many parts in the car that are integrated. If they were not integrated, you can balance as much as you like. That car is not moving. Same with life. We have 11 levels of consciousness that we rise through. All these 11 need to integrate, and that's what's called yoga in spiritual science. Yoga means the linking process. So we can see that we actually use both art and science here. we consult and work with the most ancient of spirituality, philosophy, knowledge, etc., with the latest of all technology. As you can see, Coach Orek knew about AI before we even heard the word AI. He's been working with it since then and understands it so well. Sometimes when he tells us, we understand the great value of AI and the misapplication, the misidentification. People are thinking AI is something it's not, and you can't expect it to be what it is not. But you can expect it to be what it is. And if you take advantage of what it is, that is where the value is. Instead of knocking AI and saying it's going to destroy humanity, AI cannot destroy humanity. Humanity is not controlled by humanity. Humanity is trying to control, but it's not the controller. The controller is the Lord. Nobody can destroy the Lord. AI has been created by the Lord so that humanity can understand how we are manipulating His world. And now AI is manipulating us, and we don't like it. But I'm sorry, but that's the same thing we're doing to the Lord's world, to the Lord's environment. And so it's a little bit of karma, The chicken is coming home to roost. And we're not going to like it too much when that happens. So instead of humming and hawing about it, it's better to acquire knowledge properly and move forward on that basis where we can help others. And there's going to be conflict amongst us because we're all intelligent people. The greatest conflict is always between the most intelligent. This is the problem with intelligence. You can have over-intelligence. But when you add that intelligence to spirituality and transcendence, there is no over-intelligence. It only makes it better and better in terms of what we're doing in our lives while we're inhabiting this material atmosphere, this material world. So thank you very much. This is the things that I coach in. I coach yoga instructors. I do counseling. I'm a marriage counselor. It's my 48th year as a marriage counselor. I do consulting for businesses of all sizes. And I see my strength as being a conduit, a voice for those who know better than us, downloading that knowledge, that energy, and passing it on to others. And that's where I found my strength, my happiness. And because I felt this great happiness, great strength, I felt that we should set up a group like this, and there were others who were thinking the same. It's just we came together. Many of you are thinking the same out there. Let's get together. Let's make this happen. Thank you very much. I'm going to open it up to the rest of the team to bring up any questions. And there was one question that was asked by a gentleman on the basis of what I spoke yesterday. His question was, he's trying to run some projects, trying to do some things, and he feels like he's being blocked. There's some energies that are blocking him. And so how do you overcome those blockages? So I'll let anybody answer that question. I'll start it off by saying the biggest block is inside you. The blockage is inside. And you got to clear that blockage first. If you don't clear that blockage, the outside blockage is a little like cutting grass. You cut grass, but it grows again. And you cut it again, it grows again. So you keep mowing the lawn, and you hate mowing the lawn, right? Well, that's not, get someone to mow the lawn for you if you want to keep a lawn. If you think they're all weeds out there, let's pull the weeds out. So let's sort it out internally, whether we need to work with some team members to sort out some of our internals that will actually help us keep moving forward nicely, or should we weed out some of the things inside of us that are actually harming us and blocking us, causing blockages like that. That's the first thing. Then externally, also we need to do some things, and the most important thing we call the who. The who means, who are the people that you have surrounded yourself with, working with, who can help you through blockages. And not just blockages, more importantly, opportunities. Opportunities are the greatest things to go for. Blockages are problems that are stopping us from our opportunities. They're the problems in our lives. Solving problems is not going to sort out acquiring opportunities and taking advantage of opportunities. They will help. We need to solve problems, but we mostly need to focus on the positive, moving forward, we're making progress. Making progress is not a problem. What stops us from making progress is a problem. But those blockages are not your focus. Your focus is your progress. Your focus is your growth. And then, how do you do that internally and externally we call the who, starting with the Lord himself, and then having mentors around you who know what they're talking about. And then heroes who are practicing this in their lives. And we can identify with them, we can form friendships with them, become comrades together, and make things happen, make miracles happen. And then forming a team, a core team around you, with you, that can understand you and help in ways that you can't even imagine. Way beyond masterminds. Way beyond masterminds. And then comes the fifth, and that is yourself, your strengths. Who are you? In those 11 levels of consciousness, where are you? How are you headed? And how are you doing with the 10 arenas, the 10 dimensions of life? Total health and balance, things like that. That will really break through and make not just breakthroughs, but amazing progress in your life. But I'll open up to the rest of the team members. If you'd like to say anything about that or anything else, please speak. Thank you very much. And again, thank you all for being here live or seeing this after at some point. We'll just keep this up on YouTube and people can watch that. Please subscribe, please share this with us, and please do send us your comments, questions. We love answering them. There is no question or comment that I've heard that is rude, insulting, things like that I've not heard. And if there is something that's just coming from a bad space, well, that person doesn't need to be in the group talking about what we're talking about. That's a different story. Other than that, please don't think that any question you have is sort of a bit of a rough question. We may not like hearing from you. No, we'll love hearing from you. Anything that might help you make progress in your life in ways that are truly progressive and also do the same for others, will help others in the same way. All right, so in that sense, please do ask your questions and comments. Thank you very much.
I think this is such a good question about blockages. We come through obstacles throughout life, and sometimes those obstacles are little bumps, and then sometimes they're big mountains. And I was thinking that the way we overcome blockages is something you said earlier about life is 80% art and 20% science. Mm. And so to get over blockages, there's some science there. There's some frameworks, right? There's some blueprints to come from it. But a lot of the art is applying those frameworks and blueprints with the right attitude, or the right perspective, or the right intention. And these things come from art, where you get them from a mentor that teaches you how to get through them in the right perspective and attitude, because they've done it before you.
Right.
And so they can help you shorten time. You might go through a problem that takes you a year to get over, but because this person has been through the problem before, they can help you get over it in a couple days even.
Collapse time.
Collapse time, there you go. Yeah, they help you collapse time. And this is an art and a science, but often in the Western world, we are attracted to science. Give me the frameworks, give me the blueprints, what's the equation, what's the,
What's the formula?
Yeah, what's the formula? What's the formula to get over this? And life is 20% about formulas, but 80% about the art and how you go through it. That's one of my thoughts.
Very good, very good.
I was thinking, and something along those lines, with how beautiful it is to have a community and coaches, because everybody has an individual situation. There's no one size fit all. And so when you have somebody that you can talk to and explain your situation in an individual way, then it's very beautiful, because then the exact solution can be found. So that's like, you can find somebody, you can say, I have this problem, it's like this. And then they can give you the right solution for you. Because every problem is an individual problem. So there's an individual solution to that problem. this one size fits all is that impersonalism, which is rampant in this world now. It's like that's why there's a prescription medicine, right? It's prescription medicine because it's for you. This is how you're supposed to take it. It's so when you have a coach, when you have somebody you can trust, somebody you can open up to and say, well, I have this problem, they can give you the exact information and knowledge and medicine that you need to fix that problem.
Very good. Very good. Anybody else would like to chime in?
I know along that line, there's a lot been said that I've heard in classes and stuff lately about, you don't want to just ask the average person on the street to help you, or, go online to ask the first person you come across online. You want people who love you and have your best interest at heart. And you want people who have proven that they know what they're talking about, that they're successful. You don't, like I say, you just don't want to ask anybody. You want people who care about you and people who know what they're talking about.
I think this is such a good point, talking about people who have your best interest, because how many times have you gone to somebody and you ask them a question and they think, ding, 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 here's a way I can take advantage to get what I want out of it.
It's a dollar sign.
They're like, oh, so yeah, they can sell you something. Now I can sell you my product. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, always, also, you want to say something?
Oh, I was going to say something. Well, this is, we're here on YouTube and all these people, and I just wanted to say, one thing that I brought up to Nanda one time a little bit ago, it's beautiful. One of the most beautiful things is there's a lot of people that go out there and try and make change, but they're usually the kind of me personalities that are popular but don't really care about people. And I can personally vouch for everybody here, that everybody here actually wants to change things and actually cares about people. We actually care. Like if you're sitting out there and you just clicked on this video and you're like, what's going on with these people? We actually care. We're not just some personalities trying to get clicks and likes and shares. We actually want to know who you are, and we want to help you really become the best that you can. And that's everybody that's here. It's not like some kind of, we're just, I'm a personality and I'm trying to, la. No, nobody here is like that. We don't have any of those kind of personalities here. We're all really decent folks that just want to help. And it's good to see a conglomeration of that.
We're not here to promote ourselves. We're here to promote the relationships, the wonderful relationships we have with each other and with the Supreme Person.
Yeah.
I think that comes through very clearly in our head coach, Bino, who has, I think every one of us here can say that he has definitely helped us with things that, were obstacles, helped us overcome them. So he's shown that he has our best interest in heart, and he has your best interest in heart too.
Yeah. What I wanted to say additionally to that was, when we have obstacles, it's often the case, and I found very few exceptions, it's often the case that a bigger door is opening, a smaller door is closing, and a larger door is opening. So seeing an obstacle is one thing, but seeing an obstacle as an opportunity is another thing. So if you see the obstacle as an opportunity, what is the silver lining around that obstacle? What is the bright side of that obstacle? And focusing on that, you may suddenly find you're in a new world, a new arena that you didn't know even existed, because you focused on the bright side of it. What is it that obstacle is supposed to teach you? And in that sense also, when we say coaches here, we call ourselves revolutionary coaches, in the sense that revolutionary Atambas, because the revolution is that when we coach, it's not just that we're trying to help you overcome the situation that you're dealing with or achieve the opportunity you're trying to achieve. It's that we want you to be able to also replicate that with others. So that we really, when we're talking to you, we're sort of talking to hundreds of other people at the the same time, because we know you have that strength in you. Once you've learned it, you can share it with others and work with others in a way that they can also become liberated from their misery and or have the opportunity to achieve something that they were, dreaming about, just, from their young age or whenever they started dreaming about it, that those dreams can actually be realized like that. So in that sense, we're little revolutionary as coaches. When you approach us, you'll notice we're not a typical coach where, we are looking at your problem and seeing, okay, how can we resolve this problem and what is the fee going to be for that, for the resolution. We work very differently. Our idea is we believe that we already have what we want. We're not looking for more of what we already have. We may need some other things and those will be taken care of automatically. But the most important thing is to reach out to people so they can reach out to people and they can reach out to people. And then we're looking at the third generation and seeing, is the third generation achieving? If the third generation achieving, then the other two generations achieving. We're not a multi-level organization, by the way. We're not a pyramid scheme. We don't believe in those things. We're here to really help. Nobody earns money out of other people's earnings. Everybody gets their fee for whatever they do. And of course, the organization itself gets its own cut so that we can train others, use that for training expenses, use that for giving scholarships. Ultimately, our idea is that, not our idea, but our plan is that we'll be building a very large university in person, like a bricks and mortar university, and prior to that, an online university. And so we want to build up towards that with an alumni. We're building our alumni right now. And then the university comes, and then it has its own alumni. And so that's how it works. But then reaching out to everybody, bringing everybody on a level playing field, getting people on a level playing field, no matter where you come from, a wealthy family or poor family, a very highly educated family or family that has no education, a family that is doing very well in life, to a family that's really struggling out there, barely making ends meet, and probably on the way to some type of a non-existence type stuff. We level the playing field. Everyone has equal opportunity because we're all children of God. Okay, anybody else like to say anything about that or speak about anything else, any other topic that you'd like to bring up? Eric, you want to say something? You normally have a lot of questions.
I know. So quiet. I'm not right at the moment, though.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
though. Appreciate
If you do think of anything, don't
You
feel
bet.
shy. Same with you, your friend. Don't feel shy, okay? All right, so any other things we'd like to mention here?
I'll ask a question. I say, I really was liking when Ethan was speaking about how you've been helping people with their beauty on the outside, and now you want to work on the beauty on the inside.
Mm.
So I was wondering if Coach Fino, if you can explain or expand on how a Tombo works with somebody on the inside. How do we beautify our insides?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. It's very much the core of what we do. So to understand how to beautify the inside is first to see what is the inside that you have. Like say for example, we have these what they call do-overs, right?
Mm.
They have a house and they do over the house.
Mm.
And then the house looks so much more beautiful after they've done over. Or they do-overs to people, right?
Renovations or
Renovations.
makeups or what is it called? Makeovers. Yeah,
Makeovers,
makeover.
right?
There you go.
For humans, they call them makeovers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
They do a makeover and they say, wow, this is my wife. And she's so beautiful now. or the husband or whoever it is that a makeover is happening, right? So where do you start with that? You start with the person as they are. You have to start with where they're at now. And to understand who you are, where you're at in terms of the consciousness levels, in terms of total health empowerment, 10 dimensions of life. So first what we do is we get a location for you. Where are you located? Internally and externally. Where are you located? So now we know what pieces are missing that need to be added in the internals and externals. For example, in the internals, a problem might be that you're not very confident. You lack confidence. Oh, I'd like to do this, but I don't think I can do this. So then the opportunity is gone. because you felt that you're not confident, and therefore. So what we do is we create a program that is a done with you and done for you program. So what we do is that we say, okay, do that. Let us add to you a few people who are very expert. They already know how to do this, and they do it with you, and they take baby steps with you. So they see you through the baby steps. As soon as you've gone through some number of baby steps, for some sooner, some later, they start building confidence. Oh, I can do this. I can do this. It's so true about anything in life, right? If someone had told us, as you know, as a 1-year-old, you know, can you actually teach physics? I think the 1-year-old baby would just smile, right? Wouldn't even know what physics was. First of all, what's physics? Is it some type of chocolate? Is it some type of candy? I mean, to put it in my mouth, I'll tell you whether I can do it or not. You know, that type of stuff, right? So understanding what it is, how to do it, in terms of the frameworks, which you just said. What is the framework that allows you to do it? And in all frameworks, just as in education, let's just take the purpose of life is to become a brain surgeon. Correct? Okay, let's just say that is true. So when you're born, a year later, should someone yell at you and say, you're already 1 year old, why are you not a brain surgeon? They know this person first needs to flip on its belly, learn to sit up, learn to crawl, learn to stand, learn to walk, learn the language, you know, the ABCDs of life, the 1, 2, 3, 4s of life, right? And then over a period of time, that person, 30 years, 35 years later, can become a brain surgeon. But when it starts earlier, it has to be something very simple. You notice when they go to kindergarten or pre-kindergarten, what do? I think they make sure there are toys for the children to play with. There's nice food that every so often the children can have something to eat. And there are some nice places where they can take some rest. Because they give them those 3, right? Okay, now it's food time, they all eat. Then now it's play time now. Now everybody go to sleep. Take some rest. And they get up again. Okay, now some more food time, some more play time, some more sleep. Okay, if you thought that's how you train a brain surgeon, you think that's not how you train a brain surgeon. Yes, it is. Because you got to get them through that phase to go to the next phase, to the next phase, next phase. Their confidence is at a certain phase. You got to start them from there, a little below that, build from there and take them to the higher phases of confidence, right? So as you take them through the higher phases of confidence, now they're able to do it, and they think, I can do this. One good example. A lot of people, when I tell them, look, you know, can you go on YouTube and say something? I was like that myself. I'm not going on YouTube. Why? Well, you know, I'm really old person. I don't look very nice. I don't have much of a white skin. You know what I mean? I don't look young. I don't look like, you know, who's out there that's considered good looking right now. I'm losing little, but so.
I don't know, man.
Or says he is.
Yeah. But you know, somebody who's famous out there, right? Like Tom Cruise, take example.
Yeah.
When he was a little younger. He's also getting older now.
What is it, Sweeney right now? What's her name?
Oh yeah, Sweeney.
Oh.
That's a new name coming into town.
Yeah, she's.
So yeah, like that, you know, so like that, right? So there's some, see, I'm nothing like that. What am I going to look like when I'm standing in front of the TV, and in front of the camera? Then will I be able to speak? Well, I'll start stuttering and saying, and you know, like that, things like that. So I'm not going to be able to do this, right? So then yesterday, I just threw myself in, right? You saw me throw myself in. It's the first time I did it in front of a camera, right? Okay, so I had a little confidence. You could notice I did have some confidence, right? But also I felt like, man, I wasn't doing this right, I wasn't doing that right. So what we tell people is, look, simple. Take a phone, right? Turn on a video, right, on yourself, and just for 30 seconds say something that you want to tell somebody that's going to be value to that other person. And then you struggle, because you think, what should I say? Maybe what I say is stupid, this, that, and the other, right? You struggle, right? And then what you do, you post it. And then you get comments back, right? Some people say, that was the stupidest video I ever saw in my life, right? And some people say, man, you were so authentic, you were real. I could see all your warts. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I could feel it. I could feel encouraged. I would never dare put myself in front of a camera like that. You did. You're brave, man. And you're the best, right? So there's going to be all sorts of comments come through, right? Then the next day you repeat. Do it again. Third day, you repeat it, do it again. They say by the time you reach the 30th day, you'll be so comfortable being in front of a camera. You'll have so much confidence. You'll be jumping up and down in front of that camera and saying things like, you've never have done in the past. How did the confidence come? It came one day at a time. One day at a time. But with feedback. Don't just do it with no feedback. If you don't have feedback, you don't know where you're at. Because your mind will play games with you. One day the mind will say to you, you're the best, man. Another time the mind will say to you, man, you're a real fraud. You're an imposter. You're cheating people. You're a fraud. They'll catch you. Like that, right? So the mind plays games like that. That's its role. It's the mind is the master of action. And like all masters in this world at least, there's some level of cruelty there. That's why people don't like bosses, right? Because they see cruelty come through sometimes from the boss, and they don't think the boss is cruel. You see what I'm saying? So the idea is, if you don't like a boss, start your own venture, right? While you're working for somebody, when you can make much more money than any working for anybody, no matter how smart you are. There are people in this world today, if I'm not wrong, right, that are being paid $250 million a year in the AI field. Yeah. Now, if they started their own AI program, how much would they be paid? Billions, right?
Absolutely.
Billions. Same person. There is never a case as an employee that you can earn any more than a fraction of what your value is. There's never a case. Now, if you say everybody starts their own venture, who's going to work for anybody? You don't have to worry about that. That's not your problem, because not everybody's going to start a venture. Even if you make it very easy for them, they still won't do it. You can take a horse to the well. If it doesn't want to drink that water, doesn't matter how much the water is in that well. It makes no difference, does it? You see what I'm saying? So in that sense, basically, we build confidence. And as you build confidence, your capabilities come in because of the knowledge that's being provided by the coaches. They're providing knowledge through different systems. Your confidence and your knowledge, and then that fact that you're actually doing it, which is the key most important thing, that you're actioning it, is what created our A5 framework, right? What do? We say to ourselves, okay, what am I capable of doing? Everyone's capable of doing something, right? At the very minimum, everybody is capable of dancing, singing, eating, right? Drinking. I think so. I think anybody can drink, right? Anybody can eat. Anybody can sing. I mean, some people don't think I'm a good singer. If I sing, I sound more like a frog. I'm one of those people. I think I sound like a frog when I sing. But that's because I think I'm a frog. But other people say, wow, that was very nice. And I'm thinking, wow, man, that was being nice to me. You know what I mean? But so we think like that, right? But the point is, we can't sing. We can't dance. Whichever one of these four you want to do, okay, let's take that as your agency. Let's just say you have that capacity. Now act on it. Do some small action, right? That small action is going to create some result. That's your achievement, right? The achievement is going to make you feel like, wow, I did it, man. I can do that. So that's your authenticity now, right? You're authentic. That's going to build your affinities. Your affinities is what you love doing. Because there are only two rules in life. Love what you do what you love. Of course, do it in a way that's progressive, not harmful to others. When I say love what you do, it doesn't mean you go around slitting other people's throats. That's not what I'm talking about here. Love what you do means do something that is creating happiness for you and creating happiness for others, not harm for others. You see what I'm saying? Like that, right? So your affinity increases. That makes your agency bigger now. Now you'll sing better, you'll dance better, you'll eat better, you'll drink better, right? That applies to anything in life. So we use this formula to actually help people build the beautiful insight that they need to build. Because now their insight is being built in a way, piece at a time, and as a piece at a time, depending on, how much. And by the way, that beauty is not to show others. Because show is not good enough. It's okay, you show yourself as a beautiful person. Real beauty lies in character. Character of a person is real beauty, right? You'll see sometimes, a boy fell in love with a girl, but she's not much of a looker, But he really fell in love with her. Why? It's because of her character, right? Loved her character, This is the person I like to be for all my life. At other times, he fell in love with a very beautiful girl, and she turned out to be a person that wasn't too compatible, right? And it's sort of like, you break up and you think, why would you break up with such a beautiful girl, you know? And there's only I can tell you that, you know, why you broke up. You see what I'm saying? There's compatibility, it's character, all these things are there. So beauty really refers to something that creates performance in terms of a culture of making progress.
Mm.
Please, if you can walk away with one thing in this video, it's a culture of making progress, not a culture of success. And that's how you build internals, right? The same way.
Mm.
Culture of making progress. Help with this, help with that. In his own case, he's already started helping. He has a daughter. Your friend has a daughter that
Mhm.
he's working with, right? He's helping her. He's a single dad. So he's helping her that same way. Helping her do this, helping her understand that, this, that, and the other. And she's becoming more and more confident, right?
She's actually his niece. He took on his niece.
Or he took on his niece, right?
Yeah.
Because no one would look after her, right? Or something.
He didn't like the situation.
He didn't like the situation she was in, so he actually took over and looked after her. And she's becoming, I met her a number of years ago, and from what I'm hearing now, she's doing much better. So he's building her internally, right? Yes, externally also helping, but internally, her strengths are increasing. So he's already doing it, that's why I said he's being a little humble. And he said, I'm learning, who's not learning?
It's a
right?
huge sacrifice, you know. Raising your own kids is one thing, but to take on someone else's child
Oh,
that's a huge
That's a
sacrifice.
good step. And then again, going back to this, you know, how much do I know? We're all learning all the time, becoming better and better. But it's as much as somebody knows more than us, we can collapse time, right?
Mm.
It's like I'm 72 years old today. If I spent a week with myself when I was 20-year-old, then the things I tell myself then and there when I was 20-year-old, that would have really helped me do things in much shorter space amount of time, right? So that's like that. So we all have things in us that we are our agency that we can help others with. And so little action, little result, you know, little authenticity, little more affinity, little more agency. So bigger action, bigger achievement, bigger, you know, authenticity, bigger affinity, bigger achievement. So we make that movement happen. So we create movements like that. So everyone is a movement. Every person is a movement. Movements are not just a collection of people. Every person can be a movement. How many times we've seen in this world, some person came on the planet and did something, and things were like rip-roaring, and then the person left, and then the organization fell. It was only that person's existence that was causing the movement to be empowered all the time, right? So that's like a one-person movement, right? Yeah, it helped a lot of people, but one person was the only one who was really moving. The other ones weren't moving. They were just taking advantage and sharing the glories of one person's movement. But each and every one is supposed to be a movement. Each and every one is a child of God. Each of those children are most important for those of us who have more than one child, like you did. All the children are equally important. You want all of them to do amazing. God wants all of us to do amazing. And so each and every one of us can do that. What are the frameworks? And we've designed those frameworks, which are actually from ancient scripture and current technology, bringing them together to create the framework so that this type of movement can happen. And even if all of us are not here, whoever we coached will continue that movement because they'll become the movement themselves. Each person is a movement individually and collectively, and multiple movements working at the same time. That is our science. And the art of it is the internals.
This reminded me of a time when I was in junior high school. I played football, and I was okay. I was like, anyways, I got to my senior year, and I had all my teammates. We had a really, really good team, and I was kind of, but I had a coach pull me off to the side one time, and he sat down with me, and I felt like he could, you know, I know that he could see that I could be better than what I was doing. So he sat down, we wrote down, like, what kind of football player do I want to be? Like, and how do we get there? And so we wrote down some goals and stuff like that. And throughout the year, he was always reminding me and giving me that confidence. Hey, remember we said we're going to do this. You can do it. Come on. And by having somebody who had that confidence, and was able to see it in me and see where I was and be able to lift it up.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, I was the first team All-State football player. So I went from, maybe is Wanty, my last name, Wanty, gonna play this year or not, to I was the best person in my position in the state.
Wow.
And so yeah, it reminded me of when somebody has something, they can help you, build it in yourself.
Right.
That's a coach, right?
Right.
That it was literally my coach, my football coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a super excellent point you make. That confidence can be built by putting somebody else next to you who has confidence
Mhm.
and attaching yourself to that person, right?
Mhm.
That's how they get spaceships into space. The spaceship on its own is not going to get to space. It needs a booster rocket, right?
Mhm.
And so the coach becomes the booster rocket.
Yeah.
And then the person who's being coached, who is also a potential coach now,
Yeah.
becomes attached, and then the guy takes off, and the other one goes in, and the other one falls off,
Yeah.
and this one keeps going, right? Like that, So that's an excellent point,
Mm.
that to give confidence to others, why not attach a person who has that confidence to that person? And as a coach, you should have that confidence.
Mm.
And one thing we all as coaches have, which is we're very confident about, is that everyone is a child of God.
Mhm.
And since you're a child of God, God is most interested that you become successful, more interested than you are yourself.
Mhm.
He's more interested that you become successful than you are yourself. I mean, that's a great person to attach to, right? So we used to call that the added hearts program. Add your heart to God's heart and attach your heart. And that's the first step you should take, because if the Lord's with you, there's nothing you'll not be able to achieve.
Mhm.
Right? That'll give you a lot of confidence. Even if it's not your confidence, you are taking advantage of someone else who is happily doing it, but you're not taking it away from them. You're adding to their confidence by allowing you to become part of their confidence. Their confidence is sort of extending into you, and so they can carry you as well. It's like, currently there's a mega rocket being prepared for liftoff into space, right, by Elon Musk. It said it's the heaviest rocket that's ever been lifted off the ground, correct? Correct? I
Yes,
don't know about
correct,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah. So you can see, right, that how did that happen? Started with a small rocket and became this big rocket. But so much payload goes at the same time up there with that rocket, right? So can you become like that type of rocket that you can take a lot of payload and go into space with it, travel into space with it? That builds confidence, right? So, that's a very good point, excellent point you brought up.
I think that's also, I'm sorry, a fine example of the who, that's taking someone who has your best interest at heart, cares about you,
Exactly.
also is a mentor, has been successful.
Is a hero, right?
Yes.
That you can work with.
Yeah.
So you feel heroic too.
Mhm.
When you associate with heroes, you're going to become a hero. You associate with thieves, you'll become a thief, right? So whatever you want to do, you associate with people who are in that arena, you're going to do well. But why not associate with people who are in the total health empowerment arena, where they look at everything in life, not just your money, not just your physical health, not just your relationships, but look after the environment, look after your internals, externals, look after your emotional health, your mental health, your intellectual health. I mean, heck, where do you find all of that coming together in a way that's integrative and scientific? And the art of it is actually something that was practiced for millennia in the past. Not you just came up with it recently, or somebody thought of it, wrote a book, and it became the New York bestseller. That's not good enough. People think it's good enough. I'm sorry it isn't. And that's why we have the sad state of affairs this world is in. It's only good enough if you can say it was tested millions of years ago, and was tried and tested at the time and proved to be true at that time, and continues to be proved a million years later. Otherwise, you can see again and again in life, us seeing somebody comes up with a bright idea, everybody thinks this is the greatest next shooting star, whatever else it is, and then it fizzles. And then the next one comes, and the next one comes, and the next one. And people get so tired of the next one that now they're sort of like everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. That doesn't work. That simply doesn't work. We're not into those things. We're not going to be into those things. We have no interest in those things. And this is what our coaches will learn, so that they can also have strength in their lives in a way that God is truly happy with them. God is smiling. God is not thinking, yeah, you're making $10 million a month. and there are other people in this world who are struggling like crazy, and you have no interest because they're not going to help you make $20 million. That's life. That's how it is today. Unfortunately. I'm not criticizing anybody who's making $10 million, $20 million, $100 million a month. Very good. What you're doing is excellent. Kudos to you. Congratulations. But how have you really contributed to the Lord's happiness? We say to people, I care about you. When you care about a person, you care about their happiness. We say we care about God, we care about the Lord. Are we looking at the Lord's happiness? Are we always looking at our own happiness? Do we think to ourselves, we might say, well, the Lord doesn't need any happiness. He has everything. I'm sorry, if you see people in this world who are very rich, do they still crave love? Of course they do. I've seen rich people commit suicide. Why? They didn't feel loved, right? They didn't feel like they were appreciated. God doesn't like not being loved and not appreciated. He doesn't like it either.
Mhm.
We come from Him. That's why we have a similar nature. So we can, from our nature, understand He also wants to be loved. He wants to be served in a way that pleases Him. If we make that our center, that's why I keep saying that our purpose lies in a higher purpose. And we keep chasing our purpose, and we keep finding that the purpose keeps changing, and the purpose is not finally ever achieved. And then we die, and we think, I did it because we really do. Fake it until we make it. And I'm sorry, faking it doesn't make it. It just doesn't. We can say it does, and you can keep cheating people by saying that, but it'll never change. 1 plus 1 will always remain 2. You can't say 1 plus 1 equals 11. You can if you want to. But the reality is 1 plus 1 equals 2. The reality is the greatest purposes actually spawn smaller purposes. And those smaller purposes, each and every one of us individually carry. But the point is we should look at the purpose of all purposes. The cause of all causes. Now we're talking. Now you're acting a little like a human being instead of an AI machine. It's a little better than an AI machine. Maybe a little worse too. Nice. Any other points anybody like to bring up?
Yeah, I would like to address, you were talking about if I could go back to when I was 20, that
Yes.
part. There are a few of us in this room who've lived a couple of decades, so
Yeah.
we have more experience than others. And I would have to say, if I could go back to when I was 20, what I would tell myself would be to get into a program like this, to take spirituality, instead of dabbling in spirituality, take it seriously, make it a career. Transcendence and spirituality, they're the most important things in my life. They've given me the most. I could have used it more to build my own confidence sooner. I could have used it to help my children build their confidence, and I could have used it to help so many other people.
Mm.
So my advice is take it seriously now. Don't wait until you get to the end of your life and you're thinking, wow, I'm getting towards the end here, I better get serious.
And one disclaimer. As far as spiritual and transcendental knowledge is concerned, no coach is allowed to charge 1 penny for that. You cannot make money. You cannot monetize spirituality and transcendence and think it is spiritual and transcendent. You just lost its core, its soul, when you do that. It's like, what Satan said to Jesus when he took him to the top of the mountain, and Jesus replied, what profiteth the man who has, what is the rest of it? Sold his soul for the whole of creation, to achieve the whole of creation. What is that word?
Gain the whole world.
Who gain the whole world and
loses
loses his soul.
Yeah.
Like that. What profit? So we don't do that. Now we do charge for the other first 8 because they are more scientific in their process, and because everybody needs to subsist, everybody needs to survive. So yes, fees are charged. And of course, when you don't charge fees, you don't get anybody who's really serious anyway. When people pay, they pay attention. And then any excess money that we make, we do use for furthering this cause more and more. So that you take care of your needs, and some people's needs are very big, and some people's needs are very small. Whatever your needs are, they need to be taken care of very comfortably, very nicely, but at the same time, understand that we're really one family under God, and therefore taking care of other members of the family is important. Just like for those of us who live in these micro nuclear families, we take care of everybody in the family. If one person's not happy, the whole family cannot be happy. That's how life works. But yeah, just a small disclaimer, when she said career, the career she meant was that, in a sense, you take it up as a
Career of the heart.
as a
Mission.
as a mission, as an occupation, as something you do in your life with structure, with purpose, as a mission, like you said, with a vision ahead of it, this, that, and the other, but not monetized.
I appreciate this point of if I was 20, going back and I think that that's what makes it so important that we stand up and say, okay, I'm gonna give this tools for others. There's so many people that see a problem and they can help people and they say, what can I do? And it's really powerful to be able to go, I could have used this. I'm getting what I need now, so therefore I must give it to others, right? I have to do whatever I can, it becomes a mission, a mission to be able to say, hey, I got this good pizza, and I got to share it with others.
That's right. So true.
Try our pizza.
Yeah, try my pizza, yes. Very good. So, anything else anybody wants to bring up? Otherwise, we'll bring this to a close for today. We'll have more sessions like this, more roundtables. I was calling it a town hall meeting, but when we have more people, we'll call it a town hall meeting.
Yeah.
Smaller groups like this.
Semi-roundtable.
No, semi-roundtable. This is a semi-roundtable. Nice. Is that good? Yes. Well, again,
Feel good about it.
thank you all for joining with us. And please keep looking us up on his channel, Total Health Empowerment 10. And again, please sign up. For those who sign up, we do have amazing things that we can do for you that you'll see along the line. Awards, different items that we have amazing value to you, including scholarships for our online university like that, which we have already started in terms of creating the courses. Actually, I've created 2 manuals, and these are the manuals at different levels of progression like that. Oops, this way, that way. And so we've already started with that, and so you can join us. And for those who cannot afford it, we do give scholarships. So obviously, there are only a few scholarships that are going to be available, but the first ones who sign up, and there's lots of room. We will extend those scholarships if we see more people sign up and want scholarships. And so long as you meet the terms of the scholarship, because that shows that you're serious, you really want to take this on nicely. Like that, there are many advantages, so please do subscribe. Please do subscribe. There is no cost to it. And share, so others can subscribe. They can also watch these videos. And also comment, ask questions so that you have clarity, so you feel like you did your due diligence, etc. And let's go on a nice journey to an unfolding miracle in our lives now. As Coach Tammy said, let's live that life now. The future is a mystery, you said?
Yes.
Future is a
Past
mystery.
is history, the future is a mystery.
Far past is history, future is a mystery.
The present is a gift.
Present is a gift.
That's why it's called the present.
Please embrace the gift. Please.
There are no mistakes in
Accept the
God's
gift.
world. Everything has a purpose, and the word present means something.
Of value. Yes. Very good. Thank you very much. All the best.